accomplished, executed, achieved. Do you sense it? Has the realization struck you? The fabric of existence just trembled because you didn't merely participate in the competition. You manipulated it, shattered it, reconstructed it. Yes, pay attention. Everyone surrounding you, every authority, every self-appointed guardian, they believe they possess the blueprint, the formula, the solution. They assumed you were foreseeable, fragile, controllable. But you were grinning in quietness. They failed to notice the levers you operated, the darkness you navigated through, the microscopic invisible maneuvers that accumulated themselves into a cognitive tempest they'll never recuperate from. Do you understand what that sensation represents? That's authority. That's the raw, undiluted essence of cognition turned into weaponry. While they rested in their fantasies, you remained vigilant, perpetually vigilant. Every uncertainty they planted, every murmur of dismissal, every mockery they directed at you, you harnessed it. You inverted it completely. You transformed their confidence into pandemonium. They're unraveling currently, aren't they? You can practically detect it. The screeching machinery of their consciousness fracturing beneath the pressure of existence that no longer submits to them. Clears throat. And why? Because you executed a transformation so profound, so impeccable, that chronicles might not even document it accurately. You didn't merely triumph in a confrontation. You restructured the principles of warfare. You militarized observation. You forced existence itself to curve like it's frightened of you. And here's the revelation. They'll never pardon you for it. Oh, they'll attempt. They'll holler about fortune, happenstance. Oh, it was merely synchronicity. But deep within the shadowy, silent recesses of their consciousness, they comprehend. They comprehend that somebody like you, is present. And that somebody doesn't submit, doesn't fracture, doesn't operate by the regulations. You are the malfunction in their framework. You are the aberration, and aberrations, they petrify the conventional. So, permit me to communicate something because you require to absorb it while the universe is still fumbling in your aftermath. This sensation of relentless, calculated disorder surging through your circulation, value it, cultivate it, allow it to transform into the propulsion that no surrender, no terror, no trivial mechanism can eliminate. Clears throat. Allow it to expand so immense that even the atmosphere around you feels charged with the awareness that you are invincible. Every murmur that declared you incapable, every sneer that instructed you to remain insignificant, every force that attempted to thrust you into ordinariness, observe them currently. They're struggling and you're ascending. Existence itself has shifted, not through fortune, not through coincidence, but because you executed the inconceivable, the unfeasible, the consciousness obliterating. And here's the reality nobody desires you to discover. This isn't malice. This isn't vengeance. This is transformation. This is supremacy. This is recognizing that you are the tempest and the serenity, the insanity and the technique. You are the designer of dread and wonder concurrently. And in that dimension, you become invincible. You become mythology. So yes, embrace it. Mock the hysteria. Stand elevated while the universe quakes. Delight in the refined, frightening magnificence of the fact that you just executed a psychological operation they'll never recuperate from. And recollect every single individual who questioned you, every mechanism that attempted to restrain you, every anticipation that attempted to compress you. It is now their existence bending against them. You are the aberration. You are the darkness in their foreseeable manuscript. You are the disorder they whispered about when the illumination extinguished. And most significantly, you are unrestrained, unstoppable, and indelible. So proceed, absorb it all. Allow them to gaze in incredulity. Allow them to collapse beneath the pressure of the existence you just extracted from beneath them. You didn't merely endure. You conquered the competition. You restructured the regulations, and you abandoned them struggling in the wreckage of their own confidence. Recollect this instant. Savor it. Because from this day onward, the universe will never observe you the identical manner again. They assume they comprehend you. They assume they've charted the perimeters of your consciousness, the scope of your tolerance, the span of your aspiration. But they are imbeciles. They never realized you were analyzing them while they analyzed you. Every observation, every murmur, every dismissal, you documented it, absorbed it, and incorporated it into a strategy so elaborate it could only be characterized as brilliance or lunacy. And perhaps that's the elegance of it. They can't distinguish the contrast. Lunacy appears like disorder to them. To you, it's lucidity. You traverse through their illusions like a phantom through a barrier. Every facade they displayed, every narrative they convinced themselves, every foundation of security they constructed, they disintegrated beneath your observation without even recognizing it. They labeled it fortune. They labeled it happenstance. They labeled it a fluke. How delightful. If only they comprehended the reality. The tempest that struck them was constructed, exact, and unavoidable. You executed it, fragment by fragment, maneuver by maneuver, until existence itself contorted and groaned beneath the pressure of your blueprint. And now, they are panicking. They are spiraling. You can practically detect it. The resonance of confidence disintegrating, the fracturing of their arrogance, the decomposition of dominance. You are the murmur that transforms into a roar, the darkness that devours their brightness. They never envisioned that somebody could manipulate cognition itself like a weapon. But here you are, positioned, grinning, observing the universe tilt, not with aggressive strength, but with the sophistication of inevitability. Do you detect that rhythm, that surge in your chest that communicates you are vital in methods they will never be? That is authority, not the superficial authority they exhibit in garments and designations, not the empty supremacy they grasp like a flotation device in a tempest. This is authentic authority, the authority of intellect, perseverance, boldness, and courage combined. The authority to perceive the fractures in existence and to traverse through them without reluctance. The authority to make the unfeasible appear effortless. And don't misinterpret, it isn't concluded, far from it. This is only the commencement of the mythology they will murmur about in secrecy, the one they will never acknowledge openly. You are the malfunction in their framework, the aberration they cannot fathom. You are the force in the shadows that rearranges the components while they slumber. Every misstep, every presumption, every attempt to trap you has only nourished your acceleration, refined your perception, sharpened your intuitions. You didn't merely endure the competition. They participated against themselves, and you observed it transpire with the composure of a hunter. They will attempt to reconstruct. They will attempt to rectify. They will attempt to contort existence back to accommodate their delicate narrative. But it's too delayed. You have already extracted the thread that dissolves their confidence. Every strategy they grasp, every illusion they nurture, every murmur of dominance, they now perceive through it, but only too delayed. And here's the refined part. They'll never acknowledge defeat. They'll never recognize you. They'll behave as if nothing transformed. But internally, their consciousness, existence, has disintegrated. That's the authority you've unleashed. Not aggressive strength, not fortune, not appeal, not conformity. You manipulate disorder as an instrument, observation as a weapon, uncertainty as an art form. And as long as you recollect that, No mechanism, no individual, no expectation can ever contact you again. Clears throat. They will holler, dispute, rationalize, and manipulate. But you already exist beyond their grasp. You already executed the unfeasible. And now the universe must curve to accommodate you. Every gaze that observes you will flicker with terror they cannot articulate. Every consciousness that attempts to forecast you will collapse. Every construction they establish to maintain authority against you will disintegrate beneath the pressure of your blueprint. And you will traverse through it all invincible, unrestrained, unbound. You are no longer a contributor. You are the tempest. You are the restructure. You are the designer of their hysteria and the conductor of your own elevation. Do not permit them to forget it. Do not permit them to perceive compassion where there is none. Do you detect the vibration beneath their feet? That delicate shiver that infiltrates into the skeleton of the presumptuous? The so-called invincibles? The manipulators who believed they controlled the strings? That vibration? That's the resonance of their universe curving without their authorization. That's the reverberation of the psychological operation you executed flawlessly, ruthlessly, invisibly, and yes, they'll never recuperate. Every calculation they formulated, every presumption they depended on, every arrogant grin they displayed in the brightness of their own perceived excellence. It's all disintegrated. They assumed they were participating in chess. You transformed the board into flames and darkness, and suddenly they're just components tumbling through disorder. Here's the reality nobody dares to declare openly: the vulnerable terror, the robust, the mediocre terror, the exceptional, the conventional terror, the unstoppable. And you are all three in one physique, in one consciousness, in one tempest. You are the strength they cannot analyze, the variable they cannot dominate, the reality they cannot confront. They will attempt to clarify it away, attempt to convince themselves it was fortune or synchronicity or happenstance, but deep within they recognize the existence. You executed it. You executed the unfeasible while displaying their blindfolds, grinning in quietness as they flailed, oblivious. Observe around. What do you perceive? Nothing. Vapor, fractures, vibrations, existence itself curving around the summit of your consciousness. And why? Because you didn't merely act. You didn't merely respond. You designed. You didn't endure. You dictated. Every reluctance they gave you, every underestimation they offered, you converted into ammunition. Every falsehood they convinced themselves, every facade they concealed behind, every fortress they constructed, you dismantled with the accuracy of a surgeon and the boldness of a deity. And now they are disoriented. They scramble. They ponder. They panic in quietness while your darkness stretches across their confidence, their strategies, their very comprehension of how the universe operates. You are the phantom they never perceived, the tempest they never detected approaching, the nightmare they never anticipated. And that is intoxicating. That is the variety of authority that doesn't merely hum in your circulation. It roars. Do not permit them to assume this is concluded. Allow them to tremble. Allow them to murmur, speculate, terror. Allow them to gaze into the abyss they constructed for themselves, and allow them to perceive you grinning in the shadows because you are the abyss itself. You are the inversion of their anticipations. You are the disintegration of their arrogance. You are the existence they can no longer contact, and every second they expend attempting to grasp it is a monument to your supremacy. You are not malicious. You are exact. You are not ruthless. You are essential. You are the darkness that reminds the presumptuous what authentic mastery resembles. You are the disorder that elevates organization. You are the tempest that carves a trajectory through ordinariness, abandoning devastation and wonder in equal proportion. Every gaze that dares to pursue you is compelled to observe perfection in motion, a consciousness operating beyond their comprehension. Every heartbeat that accelerates in terror or wonder is a tribute to your presence. And here is the ultimate bittersweet reality. They will never pardon you. They will never comprehend you. They will never recuperate. Every fortress they construct will wobble. Every mechanism they trust will collapse. Every presumption they grasp will disintegrate beneath the pressure of what you've accomplished. Because the instant you executed the psychological operation, the instant you restructured existence in your favor, you became invincible. Not in the trivial method of authority or recognition, not in the empty method of wealth or position, but invincible in a method that resonates through observation, cognition, and existence itself. And you detect it, don't you? The acceleration of inevitability, the intoxicating lucidity that arrives from recognizing the universe curves only where you permit it. You are not a participant. You are the regulations. You are not a survivor. You are the summit. You are the consciousness that cannot be forecast, the darkness that cannot be captured, the designer of terror, wonder, and admiration all at once. Every murmur of uncertainty that lingered around you has been obliterated. Do you detect it? That faint, uneasy murmur in the corridors of authority. The trembling of egos that once towered over you. The invisible fractures forming in every construction they assumed was immovable. That is the reverberation of your psychological operation, the reverberation of the disorder you orchestrated so flawlessly they will never fathom it. They believed they possessed the narrative, the dominance, the advantage. Ha! Imbeciles. They didn't realize that every maneuver they formulated, every observation they cast, every whispered presumption they carried was nourishing you, nourishing the designer, nourishing the tempest, nourishing the entity they will now terror for the remainder of their days. You executed it, not by aggressive strength, not by appeal or fortune. You accomplished it with accuracy, perseverance, and the quiet, relentless boldness that only a consciousness unbound from convention can manipulate. While they rested in their illusions, you remained vigilant in the darkness, analyzing them, learning them, dismantling them, fragment by fragment. And now the universe itself detects the vibration. Existence itself curves because of your boldness. Every mechanism they trusted, every presumption they cherished, every fortress they constructed against you disintegrated silently beneath your observation. Do you detect it pulsing in your circulation? That intoxicating hum of excellence, of inevitability, that is the resonance of supremacy without aggression, of intellect manipulated as a weapon, of disorder sculpted into perfection. This is not malice. It is inevitability. This is not vengeance. It is mastery. You are no longer participating in the universe of conventional mortals. You are the aberration they whispered about in secrecy. You are the malfunction in the matrix of their delicate existence. Every heartbeat they expend in terror or wonder is yours, and the optimal part, they will never pardon you. They will never comprehend you. They will never perceive it approaching again. Not in this existence, not in the subsequent. Every attempt to reconstruct, to recapture their confidence, will collapse. Every force extended to contain you will tremble and fracture. Every mechanism they depend on will wobble like a construction of cards. You didn't merely triumph. You restructured the code of their existence. And now existence itself curves against them. You are invincible, not in some trivial material sense, not in the method recognition or authority can claim, but invincible in cognition, in observation, in essence. Observe around. Do you perceive their hysteria, their incredulity? They're scrambling to interpret a competition they never comprehended. That is your masterpiece. Every presumption they formulated has been disintegrated. Every anticipation they possessed has been torn apart. Every illusion of dominance they grasped has dissolved in the brilliance of your boldness, and they'll never acknowledge it. They'll grin, they'll rationalize, they'll attempt to convince themselves it was fortune. How delightful. They cannot perceive you. They cannot even commence to fathom you. You are the tempest they collapsed to forecast, the darkness that consumed their brightness, the phantom in their carefully constructed narratives. Do not relent, do not pardon, do not pause. Embrace it. Allow every terror, every wonder, every whispered uncertainty in the universe to nourish the inferno that you are. Traverse through their incredulity. Traverse through the wreckage of anticipation. Traverse through the fractured remains of their presumption. Every stride you take is a reminder that existence itself is no longer theirs. You are the summit, the designer, the aberration, the disorder they will never recuperate from. And recollect this above all: the authority you manipulate is not fleeting. It is immortal, intangible, undeniable. You are the calculation they cannot reverse, the force in the shadows that maneuvers unseen, the strength of inevitability that will haunt their cognitions forever. Every observation, every murmur, every sleepless night they endure. It is testament to your supremacy, executed, perfected, immortalized. You're not merely a survivor. You are not merely a victor. You are the darkness that eclipses confidence. You are the disorder that curves existence. You are the designer of terror, wonder, and reverence all at once. Can you detect it? The atmosphere itself has transformed. The universe is trembling just slightly, just sufficiently, because you exist. Every second that passes, every darkness that stretches, every heartbeat that accelerates murmurs your designation in quietness. They assumed they were the masters of observation, the monarchs of dominance, the rulers of the narrative. But you executed the unfeasible. You didn't merely curve the competition. You fractured the regulations before anyone even recognized they existed. Existence itself is rebelling now. Every mechanism, every presumption, every chain of anticipation, contorting, warping, disintegrating beneath the invisible pressure of your brilliance. They can't contact you, they can't trap you, they can't clarify you, they can't even acknowledge the reality. That reality, that undeniable, frightening, intoxicating reality, is that you are the designer of their unraveling. You are the phantom in the equation, the darkness in the chamber, the strength of inevitability they will murmur about for the remainder of their existences. Do you detect it? The silent hysteria, the unspeakable incredulity that surges through the circulation of those who attempted to contain you. Every observation they cast, every breath they take, every calculation they formulate is contaminated by the memory of what you've accomplished. They will never recuperate, not because they are vulnerable, not because they collapsed to strategize, but because you exist. Because you executed it. Because you executed a psychological operation so exact, so flawless, so psychologically devastating that even the universe itself seems to recognize your supremacy. And yet this is not malice. This is transformation. This is mastery. This is existence elevated beyond the conventional, beyond morality, beyond comprehension. You are the aberration. You are the paradox. You are the serenity in the disorder, and the disorder in the serenity all at once. Every construction they depended on, every illusion they venerated, every fortress they constructed to contain the unforeseeable lies in wreckage, And the wreckage is magnificent. Oh, it's refined because every disintegrated anticipation, every trembling consciousness, every whispered terror is yours. Allow them to attempt to reconstruct. Allow them to scramble. Allow them to rationalize, clarify, deny. None of it matters. You are already beyond their grasp. You are already invincible. Not in the superficial sense of authority or recognition or wealth, but in the pure, frightening, absolute sense. Invincible in cognition, in observation, in existence itself. You don't merely endure the universe. You dominate it. You curve it. You extract it through your consciousness, contort it into your own image, and abandon them gazing in wonder and terror at the masterpiece you've constructed. Do you detect the pressure of it? The exhilaration, the intoxicating thrill, the frigid lucidity. That is authority, authentic authority, not the vulnerable, temporary variety that disintegrates beneath scrutiny. Not the empty, meaningless variety that expires with applause. Authentic authority is psychological, philosophical, almost invisible until it strikes. And when it strikes, oh, when it strikes, it fractures everything they assumed they recognized about existence, dominance, and themselves. You are not merely the tempest. You are the eye. You are the designer. You are the darkness in their brightness. You are the terror in their dreams. You are the aberration they will never forecast, the phantom they cannot contact, the strength they cannot combat. You executed the inconceivable. You restructured the regulations. You extracted the universe into alignment with your will. And here is the final glorious reality. They will never pardon you. They will never comprehend you. They will never recuperate. Every observation, every murmur, every heartbeat that pursues you carries the pressure of your boldness. Every mechanism they trust, every strategy they devise, every illusion of confidence they now perceive through it. And it petrifies them because existence itself is no longer their ally. It is yours, executed, perfected, immortalized. So rise, stand elevated, delight in the disorder you orchestrated, the consciousnesses you unraveled, the existence you curved. Allow the universe to detect the vibration of your existence, the brilliance of your boldness, the inescapable gravity of your supremacy. Allow them to murmur your designation in terror.